So the Beatles' Blackbird is a great song, and I do teach it to a lot of beginners, even though it can be viewed as more of an intermediate song. It's a great introduction for finger picking, and it actually is, once you break it down, a fairly simple song that is played fast, and that's what makes it an intermediate song. So if you're a beginner and you've been playing for a few weeks and you want to give it a try, then by all means, I do recommend it. And if you're intermediate, definitely learn it. And if you're advanced and you don't know it, then of course learn it, okay? So the Beatles version has, it's not only finger picking, it has some small parts that are strumming. We're not going to do the strumming pieces for this version. It's purely a finger picking version only. And we're going to be using the thumb, the middle finger, the thumb, the index finger, the middle finger, and the ring finger on our right hand. Okay, here we go. Let's go to a closer view of the guitar. Okay, let's look at the first part of Blackbird. Take your ring finger on your fretting hand and put it on the 3rd fret low E string, and that's all we need for that. Now take, on your right hand, your thumb is going to hit the bass note, your middle finger is going to hit the B string, and your index finger is going to hit the G string, but not just yet. So we kind of have an assignment of fingers. The thumb hits the bass notes, which will be the E, the A, and the D. And the middle finger is usually assigned to the G string, to the B string, and the ring finger will hit the high E string. Okay, so the first part is the thumb is going to hit the low E string, and the middle finger is going to hit the B string at the same time. And then the index finger will hit the G string directly after. So it's going to look and sound like this. Okay. Now on your left hand or your fretting hand, you're going to take your index finger and put it on the 1st fret B string. Okay, so now your thumb on your strumming hand, your picking hand, is going to hit the A string. Your middle finger is still going to hit the B string, and we hit those at the same time again. And then we also hit the G string again with our index finger. So just to recap. Okay. So now we're going to put your index finger on your fretting hand on the 2nd fret A string, and then your ring finger on the B string 3rd fret. Your right hand is going to do the same thing it just did before. Thumb on the A string, middle finger on the B string, we hit them together, and then the G string open. So now we have these 3 sections, or these 3 chords that we pick through. Okay, so the 4th one, we go all the way up to 10 on the A string with the index finger, and 12 on the B string with the ring finger. Okay, our thumb is going to be assigned to the same A string, and middle finger to the B string. We hit those together. Index finger hits the G string. We're then going to hit the A string with our thumb, and then we're going to go back to the G string with our index finger, and then we're going to hit the B string with our middle finger. So the pattern's a bit more complex here. And then we actually repeat that pattern one more time. Okay, so just to recap part 1. Okay, so part 2, you're going to put your index finger on the 3rd fret A string, ring finger on the B string 5th fret, and we're going to pick those 2 together. So A string and B string together, and then the G string open. Middle finger is going to go to the A string 4th fret, index finger goes to the 3rd fret high E string, and we pick both of those together. The thumb gets the A string, and the ring finger is going to pick the high E string, and then we hit the G string open with the index finger. We then move up to 5 on the A string and 7 on the B string. We're also going to pick those 2 together, and then the G string in the middle. Middle finger goes to 6 on the A string, index finger goes to 5 on the high E string. Our thumb gets the A string, our ring finger is going to pick the high E string, and then we hit the G string right after. Okay, so just to recap part 2. Let's move on to part 3. Okay, so for part 3, we're going to put the index finger on the A string 7th fret, and the ring finger is going to be on the B string 8th fret. We're going to pick this in a more complex pattern. It's going to be the A string and B string together, the G string, thumb hits the A string, index finger hits the G string, and then middle finger hits the B string by itself. It's the same complex pattern that we played at the end of part 1. So it should sound and look like this. Okay, and then you're gonna just move your index finger back by 1 fret only and leave the ring finger where it is. So you should end up on 6 and 8 now and do it the same complex pattern again. Now we're just gonna move each finger back by 1 fret. Index on 5 on the A string, ring finger on 7 on the B string, and we do a short pattern which is just the same from the very intro of the song. A and B together, and then the G string by itself. We now take our middle finger, put it on 4 on the A string, index on 5 on the high E string, and we pick, our thumb gets the A string, ring finger gets the high E string, pick them together, and then we pick the G string in the middle. Okay, so this is part 3. I'll do a recap of it. Let's go to part 4. Here's part 4. We're going to start again on 3 on the A string and 5 on the B string, but this time we're playing the complex pattern. Okay. The ring finger is going to go back to the 4th fret B string, but the index finger is going to stay where it was. Do the pattern again. We move each finger back by 1 fret, ending on 2 and 3. And we also do another complex pattern. We're going to put just the middle finger on the B string, 2nd fret, and we're going to pick the A string open now, and we do another complex pattern. We're going to put the index finger on the B string, 1st fret, and this time the thumb is going to go down to the D string. So we're going to pick the D open and the B string together, and then the G string, the D string, the G string, the B string. And then we're going to put our ring finger on the 3rd fret, low E string, and we're going to pick a complex pattern using that bass note now. So it's the low E string with the B string together. Hit the G string, the low E string, the G string, and the B string. So part 4 looks like this. So basically what you've learned so far is most of Blackbird except for the chorus, but there are a couple of what we call endings, certain endings. Now there's an ending that comes right after part 4 that looks like this. Now the ending actually is just another version of part 4. But what we want to do is we want to play these first 2 chords as hits. So index on 3, ring on 5. And we're just going to pick the A string and B string and then stop it. Okay, and the way you want to stop it is 2 ways. You want to hit the notes and then actually take your thumb and touch the A string and take your middle finger and touch the B string. Okay. And then you move on to the next chord, which is 2 on the A string, 3 on the B string. Do the same thing. Middle finger goes to the 2nd fret B string, and we do the complex pattern now. Index goes to the 1st fret B string, and we do the complex pattern with the D string as the bass note. Okay, ring finger goes to the 3rd fret low E string. We do the complex pattern with the low E string as the bass note. And then we would start back to part 1 again. Let's move on to the chorus. Okay, so here's the chorus of Blackbird. We're going to start here on 8 on the A string, and ring finger is going to go to 10 on the B string. We're going to pick the A string and B string together, and then the G string open. Then we're going to move to 7 on the A string, 8 on the B string, and do the same picking pattern. We're going to move down to 5 on the A string, 6 on the B string. down to 3 on the A string, 5 on the B string. And we're still just picking the A string and B string and then the G string, okay? We're gonna go down to 1 and 3, and we're gonna play a complex pattern. And then 3 and 5 with a complex pattern. Okay, we're gonna repeat it and play it again, but this time it's gonna have a different ending. So 8 and 6, 7 and 8, 5 and 6, 3 and 5, 1 and 3 with the complex pattern. And now we switch to this, which is middle finger on the B string 2nd fret, and the A string is going to be open with the complex pattern. Index finger is going to go to 1 on the B string, and we do the complex pattern with the D string. Ring finger goes to 3 on the low E string, we do the complex pattern with the low E string. So just to summarize that part. Sorry, I apologize. After the D string, you do not want to go back to the 3rd fret low E string. What you want to do is just immediately jump to the beginning of the song, the main riff. Alright, so here's the final summary of the song. I'm going to play it a lot slower than the original version, just so you can see what's happening and really identify the parts. There are some subtle changes that happen in the song that I didn't cover, but the majority of it, we'll say 95% of it, is covered. Here we go.